Whew.
I just
Yes, sir. All right. We will now call the Wednesday, January 28th, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Let's see here. Mr. Suter, you want to take roll or you want me to?
Sure, I'll do it. Mr. Lewis,
Present.
Supervisor Day here, Supervisor Ayers,
here.
Supervisor Hart,
Here, sir.
and Supervisor McDaniel.
Present. Like to take a moment before we have the invocation and the pledge. I'd like to take a moment to remember Donald Duck Ingram, who passed away yesterday. He's a long time, well-known, well-loved member of our collection center. He was an attendant at the Goshen Collection Center and part of the county work family. We ask that you keep the Duck family as well as many friends in your thoughts and prayers. At this time, we will have an invocation and pledge of allegiance. You're not required to participate, but if you'd like to join us, please stand.
Lord, as we gather here this afternoon, we're thankful for the service of those who have braved the weather to help provide for those in need, for the hard work keeping our streets safe and power and electric on so that we can stay warm this winter. And now I'll ask that you will be with us as we conduct our meeting here tonight, guide and direct us in all decisions that we make tonight and in the future. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Suter, are there any changes to the agenda for tonight?
Typically, I don't have any, but in this case, yes, it's a little different meeting being on Wednesday. First, I'd ask that the VA 250 update be ported to the next regular meeting. When we shifted to today, it created conflict for Mr. Eric Wilson, who was going to present along with Cheryl Wagner. Secondly, due to public notice requirements, we needed to move the scheduled public hearing that was scheduled for Monday night to the next meeting, first meeting in February. And finally, and unrelated to the storm, we were expecting to see the FY25 audit from our auditor not later than Saturday to post for Monday's meeting. However, we didn't end up receiving it until Sunday. I think they had to run through their secondary checks, which they did on Sunday, and I believe Mr. Harrison received it Sunday afternoon. So thus we kind of administratively opted to push that off this agenda and add it to the first February meeting to ensure that the board has adequate time to review it. I will note that it was a clean audit with a surplus. That's a lot, but that's the ones I requested.
Okay.
Heading in the right direction. That's less rather than more, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
And I will apologize too. We didn't know till the work session started, but our main camera that shows you all is out, and we were afraid to totally reset the entire system. We're going to go with what we've got for right now and fix it tomorrow.
I don't think any of us are complaining that we're not on camera.
I think that's why I broke.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we will hold citizen comments at the beginning of the meeting. We will do our best to take citizen comments remotely. There are two options for citizens to offer comment. To join by telephone, you may dial into one of the numbers listed on the county website. Webinar ID and password are there for your convenience. Citizens wishing to simply view the meeting live or after the fact can do so on the Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors YouTube channel, also available on the county website. If you wish to make a citizen comment as a Zoom meeting participant, you will use the raise your hand feature, and you can press the raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom window or press star 9 if you are calling in by telephone. We now welcome citizen comments. When your name is called, please address the board as a whole. Please come to the podium, use the microphone. Please state your first and last name, your magisterial district. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. There's a timer there for your convenience. So anyone signed up to address the board?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there
No
anyone
one has
on the
their-
line?
No one has their hand raised?
And is there anyone in the public who didn't have the opportunity to sign up? All right. Before we get too far along too, I just want to take a minute while we're making announcements and comments to thank the staff for your work during the winter storm. Sorry to everybody that we had to move the meeting from Monday to Wednesday, but me and Mr. Suter discussed it and thought it was best for everyone involved. I know Mr. Suter was out shoveling some sidewalks to help with the progress to get us here tonight. So, but to all of our county staff who braved the conditions, gotten out and helped, I really appreciate all that you've done to get us to this point tonight.
Mr. Chair, I like, Don Smith, does a yeoman's job down at the courthouse. He was in here. He's always in here getting that cleaned up. I also, like to say, and we don't do these recognitions on every storm, but this was a kind of tough one to move the snow. Steve Kingery out the maintenance garage and his staff, fire and EMS and law enforcement were all out in force, and everything went very, very well. And I'd also like to call VDOT out. In that storm, I don't think you ever saw anything but black pavement on the interstate. That takes a little bit away from our primaries and secondaries, but if that interstate's closed, it creates a log jam on 11 and everything else. So that was very important. And then they jumped on as quickly as they could. So I'd like to thank all those folks. I'm sure I missed somebody. Daniel and our collection center folks, and Steve Flint for cleaning out our collection centers. I'll leave it there.
All right, next up, we have approval of the January 12th minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those, or any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Sorry, I'd make a motion to approve with a change that in my comments regarding the potential changes to the polling areas. I did very much appreciate the work of the electoral board and the registrar. I don't think that made it in there, but before I started complaining, I did say thank you for all for the ideas and for the work and for the schools allowing those sites to be utilized, which I think is fabulous. Something we've been working towards for a while. So if we could make some slight changes there to the minutes to flesh that out a little bit, I certainly make that motion.
All right, that's a motion with the change added. Is there a second to that?
I second.
All right. Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Ms. Ayers.
Yes.
Mr. Day.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes, sir.
And Chair votes yes as well. Next up, we have the school appropriation resolution. Mr. Harrison.
Yes, it's a short one. The school division is requesting an approval of $5,166 for a nurse's grant. I think I misidentified that as medical equipment. Mr. Suter talked to the superintendent. I think that was for reimbursement for some health clinics.
There were some health and vision clinics that are in the fall for students. It doesn't have anything to do with CTE. It's the actual nursing program, our school nurse, and they do these screenings, and then it's a reimbursable from the Commonwealth that comes back to pay the full cost.
All right. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right. Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Ms. Ayers?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Aye.
And Chair votes yes as well. Next up, we have the county financial report. Mr. Harrison?
Yes, the county is requesting approval resolution authorizing the payment of bills and some additional appropriations. The total amount of bills this period is $246,732.66. Appropriations is $20,391. That includes $11,937 for fire and rescue for contracted services, and that comes from EMS cost recovery funds. $1,547 for fire and rescue, and that was a citizen donation to some EMS supplies. And $6,097 solid waste for the hazardous materials event. That was more successful than it has been in past years, and we will be billing the cities for their portion of that. The revenue and expense reports were provided to you as of 12/31/2025. The FY26 general fund revenues is at $36,678,644. General fund expenditures total $32,842,561. So the year-to-date difference is $3,836,083. Just a note, it'll start going down again until we receive our second half payments in June. Also attached is the history of the sales, mills, lodging, emissions, and cigarette taxes for calendar years 2022 through 2020.
Mr. Harrison, can I ask you to lean in? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Is that better?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. 50% of the fiscal year has passed. Sales tax collected amounts to $2,444,269, or 52% of the estimated budget. Meals tax is at $1,583,137, or 47% of the estimated budget. Lodging taxes is at $989,406, or 54% of the estimated budget. And just for reference, when I provide that number, that is for the 5% of the lodging tax that goes to the county general fund. The 2% and the 1% taxes are identified on the form I give you, of the history of the sales tax. Emissions tax is at $350,849, or 100% of the estimated budget. Thank the train again. And the cigarette taxes is $105,000, 47% of the estimated budget. We had some good questions that came up at the last meeting about the balance sheet, and myself, Ms. Weitzel's, both Julie and Missy met with our CPA firm and got some clarification ourselves. That report that's been provided to the board, they said that's not a good report. It's not, it says balance sheet, it's not a true balance sheet. In the sense of the board looking for balances in funds. It's a pool fund 999 that just represents everything that goes to and from for the treasurer's account, including all the things that she has to account for. For example, she has to maintain a 20-year record of property taxes collected. On the uncollected, and on that amount, that's not the total that was outstanding in uncollected local taxes. As you'll see in the audit that will be presented, that amount is 13.3 million, and that amount will be, a large portion of that is the second half due at the time of the audit. As far as that remaining percent, of course, Ms. Weitzel's in the audience, but she has her tax sale in February to try to collect on uncollected property taxes. And on the personal property taxes, she has issued over 400, I think almost 450 DMV stop orders this year to get people to pay their personal property taxes. So she's taken an active role in making sure we get paid. On the uncollected, when it says uncollected state Commonwealth funds, that's a kind of an artifact. In 2006, the Commonwealth froze how much the absolute dollar amount provided to localities, which is about 1.8 million for us. Though Missy has to continue to track that so that we can demonstrate that we are providing that personal property tax relief to the citizens. And those are the amounts that shows up on the personal property tax bills sent out to the public. And you'll also notice on that those are negative numbers, and they're all further down that sheet. They're all zeroed out. With that said, I think kind of get an idea of what the board is wanting to see as far as balance sheets. We're pretty optimistic with the new Tyler software that will be implemented that we can provide that. But in the meantime, I'm having discussions with Ms. Weitzel, Julie, and Missy, coming up with reports that we think the board would prefer to see as far as balance sheets that we can generate now with our current BAI system. So that's forthcoming. We mentioned the audit. The audit is coming up or at the next meeting. Mr. Suter already presented that, but we did have a surplus of $1,707,212 for the general fund. I think when you're looking at the year-to-date revenues that show over 2026, all of our regular revenue and expenses are on track. What throws those things off are projects and the timing of those projects. For example, compared to in December of 2024, we had transferred $2,821,000 from the ARPA fund to the general fund to pay the general fund back for paying in cash the geothermal upgrades to the Natural Bridge Elementary School. And so that's as you know, is a large dollar amount, and that's just one example of those things that can throw those things on a little out of whack. But as far as on the expenses of the departments, they're all on track. They do a great job. Our constitutional officers and department heads on watching their budget makes my life easier. And I just wanted to mention that. The reserves, I think I had shown, you'll also see that in the audit, in the audited balance sheet, all of our reserves, both in all of our restricted and assigned funds. We do provide, we make that clear in the budget on page, I think it's on page 33 of the adopted budget. We actually show what the reserves funds were going to be used for. Actually, we highlight that in color in the budget, so it stands out so that the public is aware. But for 2026, just to remind the board of where we're at with the budget, 3.9 million of that was for capital expenses for both the county capital projects, funding our capital contributions to the library, and paying for the school buses and the central dispatch upgrades. A large portion of that, 643,000, is what we will get back. Chief Ramsey from the EMS cost recovery funds. Chief Ramsey, he keeps track of that in his office, and he'll send a report to my office in May about all the eligible funds to reimburse the general fund with the EMS cost recovery. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt a resolution?
So moved.
And a second?
Oh, second?
All right. Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Ms. Ayers.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Day.
Yes.
And Chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Let's see, a presentation of the audit. We're skipping that until next time. We have the annual report from the Virginia Horse Center.
Yes, I'll give a quick intro, and then I think there's might be high time for some history. I think we had a question on some of this, and we can get into that before or after. But tonight we've got Miss Sandra Thomas with us from the Virginia Horse Center. She's been with them a long time, since I believe 2014, 12 or 13, 14. So just quick review. In January of 2023, the Board of Supervisors and the EDA approved a 5-year extension of an agreement that was originally entered into in 2014. At the first, for very short 1-year increments, and then they moved to 5-year increments. And so 2023, the board approved another 5-year agreement that will expire in 2029. And that extended the allocation of 1% of the county's lodging tax to the Virginia Horse Center. A requirement of this amended agreement is delivery of an annual report in the month of January sometimes we don't get to it till the 1st of February, but both to the Board of Supervisors and EDA. And this is an artifact of those original discussions, and we've carried this forward because it's a good idea for the board to look at these things. And also it's good to see Sandra and Steve once a year to tell us how everything's going. The agreement specifically requires presentation of a schedule of events for the upcoming year, progress report on debt service, financial report, their updated capital improvement plan, 5 years, and any other information that may be of interest to the board, and also to answer any questions that you might have. Steve, since we moved from Monday to tonight, Executive Director Steve Shanks is on the road, I believe. I looked to see if he was dialed in. I don't see him, but Sandra has more than ably presented this report in the past. So given that, I can roll through some history, or let Sandra give the report, and then I can give some background after that.
Sandra, would you like to come forward? We'll gladly hear from you, the happenings at the Horse Center.
Good evening. Excuse me. Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Spencer. Steve sends his regrets that he's not here, but because of the change in timing, he is on his way home from Nashville. He and one of our employees had gone down for a footing conference. And I don't think they had a very good time in Nashville. I'm here to tell you that our 2025 show season was much stronger than our 2024 show season. 2024, we saw a little bit of drop off. In 2024, we had 46 weekends, 155 days, and 65 events. Then in this past year, 2025, we had 48 weekends, so 2 more, 171 days, 79 events, so 14 more, and our stall nights were up 16%. 2026 right now looks like that we are rented for 49 weekends. And when you consider there are only 52 weekends in a year, and one's Thanksgiving and one's Christmas, New Year's, that's pretty much takes care of it. 175 days and 72 events. So fewer events, but more days. And that's, we would like to have larger events rather than having lots of small events. The current calendar is in the package that was sent out to you. We have the Frisian Grand National Horse Show will be returning in October of 26. I do not know when it was last here, but I will think it was probably sometime in the last 10 to 15 years. And then we have a Youth Equestrian Development Association National Championship is moving to Lexington in June of 26. And we have a new high school rodeo coming in March. I did not realize that Virginia had high school rodeos, but they are moving. In fact, the email, they have blocked off all the camping sites for that weekend.
Oh.
We have updated our health permit. So your package includes the 5-year plan that we have currently. It also includes some details of projects that were presented to our board in December. They were approved to be funded out of our HHR money. We have increased our campsites to 120. through change with the health department. Our campsites are sold out 4 times a year, and it's primarily with the Western shows, and also looks like with the rodeo will be selling out too. In 2024, so for the 2025 season, we purchased our own golf carts. We were able to lower the golf cart prices from $135 a day to $85 a day, but our golf cart usage doubled. And so we are able, with the saving, we contracted for the golf carts, we paid a commission, or they paid us a commission, and we figured out that we could buy our golf carts and pay for the debt service on them with the increased revenue that we have, and then we would have our own golf carts. And we really saved probably about $25,000 to $30,000 of our having to pay money to use golf carts for our own shows. So really was a cost savings measure. We have improved the footing in 7 rings. That was all through contributions. We have new LED lighting. The front parking lot has been paved. And we have purchased a new used water truck. We were paying a lot of money to keep the old one running. We've been concreting the aisles in some of the barns and have some yet to go. And we've added hot water to 2 of the barns. And we have built a new blacksmith facility. So where the blacksmith facility was not as safe as it could be, and was too close to the food vendors. The future work right now is that our grandstands will be cleaned and stained in the first quarter of 2026. And we are under discussions regarding roof repairs and roof painting. We talk about the show season, which is a calendar year, but then we have a fiscal year, which is, as a nonprofit, July 1 to June 30th. So when you have financials, you have 6 months of financials, and you will see that our net operating margin has improved 65% year over year. And for right now, through the end of December, we actually have enough contributions to cover our operating deficit, so that we are in a positive place, which is fabulous at the end of December. We will be making our next USDA debt service payment next week. In fact, everybody approved it today, so we're just waiting for the USDA to approve the withdrawal of the money from the bank accounts. And once that is done, the debt service reserve fund will remain at an amount in excess of what we are required by the USDA to have. Do you have any questions?
No, for the board, if you have any questions.
Sandra, I'm not giving the report, but would it be fair to say that there were also fans installed?
Yeah, there were some
The
fans.
name of
There were some
brand of
big
the
ass
fan?
fans installed.
All right, you can say it then. So that's another huge improvement.
Yeah.
To the facilities. And then also just to flesh out what you're saying about number of shows and all that, I think it's also fair to say, while the number is even greater, the quality of each of those shows is also improved,
Yes.
such that
Well-
it's more better for the horse.
Well, that's why we're seeing the increase in people coming, that we had 16% increase in stall usage.
Oh,
That's is an indication of we have more people coming to the shows, and that they are so they're better attended.
Can I add, if you want to see the impact of the horse center and filling hotels and that type of thing, Friday at noon, the BMX Blue Ridge Nationals kicks off, and I wasn't really expecting much first time I went to that, but that's
master of ceremonies now, aren't you?
it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bicycles and kids and jumps, and I mean they run them so fast that one race isn't even complete yet, and they've already dropped the hammer on the next one, and heaven forbid if there's a wreck, but it's pretty good.
But we start selling, I think it's 6 a.m., maybe 6:30. It is all hands on deck out there. Everybody is, we have a trailer coming in, they'll park at the front. so that we can be selling parking tickets. We make our money off of parking for BMX. So we're selling parking tickets and people are lined up out on 39. I was out there last year and it from 6 a.m. I think it's either 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. till 10 or 11. It's just nonstop cars coming. So I would suggest you arrive at about 11:30 if you want to attend a noon opening.
Can I ask a question about 49 weekends? That's terrific. When you say 175 days, are you saying including the weekends and the other, that's a total of 175 days?
So a total of 175 days. So over those, our shows tend to be weekend shows. So we can only schedule the number of weekends we have, but a show might be a 1-day show, or it could be a 5-day show. So we had 177 days of showing.
Total.
Yes.
Well, from a sitting on the tourism board, I'm just, thank you for your focus. I know that you're working hard trying to book the midweek. That's so important to our hotels. So keep up that good work.
And when you have a show day, there's a move-in day before that. There's a move-out day after that generally. So those days are just the number of days that we actually have shows going on. That doesn't count the setup for the shows. The BMX show right now, I don't know when they started, but I looked before I left today. There are probably 5 men in there. They have taken all the footing, and there's now banks and jumps and this a banking type thing and those people have been here all week. So it's not a lot of money, but they were taking up hotel rooms and they were eating.
Thank you.
If you want to indulge me, I'm happy to give a quick and dirty, as quick as I can, quick and dirty history on this and where the lodging tax goes. But I'm happy to share that with you individually too.
Any other questions or comments from someone?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all for your
We
time.
certainly appreciate you coming tonight and sharing the wonderful information. And I was going to mention the BMX. We'll try to be out there. I think it's Friday at noon is the kickoff, right?
I'll be there. And
You ride?
I do not know what the high school rodeo will be like, but that is the first week of March. So also put that on your calendar to check out the high school rodeo.
I'm assuming our school system is aware of that, or maybe we should make them aware so that if they have some students in the ag department, maybe they want to, be out there for that.
If I may, my wife was the first advisor to a rodeo club that was tried to get started up at Rockbridge County High School back in the mid-90s, and there was a lot of issues.
Not too late.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of issues that ran into the concerns were insurance and some of the other things involved with it. But there has been a consistent interest in a group of students here for that. I think there's costs involved because the insurance costs are pretty high for that. But anyway, Shannon was the first advisor to the rodeo club in Rockbridge County, so we did have one for a short period of time.
Good job. Good job. But we'll make sure that they're aware and be in touch.
Thank you.
Will you indulge me a tiny bit of history?
Sure.
Okay, so when I started here in 2012, within 6 months, two things happened. The Horse Center came to us and they literally said, we're circling the drain. And Natural Bridge got put on the auction block. We know Natural Bridge's story. The Virginia Horse Center story is a huge success story. We had bad relationships back then. We have great relationships now, thanks to folks like Sandra. A couple people in the room, Mr. Hawkins has watched this improve over time, and it's better than I have ever seen it. I mean, they when you pack that many people in, that many weekends, and the money is increasing now, and one of the biggest problems was paying the USDA debt service. Check, we got that done. And the other one, there had been no plan for capital maintenance, which is near and dear to all of us, and we now have a good plan for capital maintenance, and that is helping the other donors open up their purse strings and say, this is a rising tide, this is a rising ship. So
I may add,
Because of the, as Spencer said about the rising tide and the donors stepping up, we raised $750,000 this year for the footing projects. Horse people pay money for footing. I'm not a horse person, but it always just mystified me when they talked about footing, but that is what they care about, and that's what they'll pay for.
Right, and wasn't, with the parking lot, wasn't that some assistance by the state as
Terry
well?
Austin. Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
so-
100%.
Yeah, so we want to make sure we thank, Mr. Austin, Ms. Campbell for their contributions to that as well.
Yeah, Delegate Austin especially went to bat when he was standing out there in a puddle, wondering why am I standing in a puddle? And lo and behold, we're paved. So,
Well, good. Thank you again.
And the HHR funds were instrumental in finishing that off, by the way.
yes.
Okay, so we are also, excuse me, skipping the Virginia 250 update. Next up, we have the annual report from the Natural Bridge Drag Strip. Mr. Sladen, I think you'll go kick that off for us.
Absolutely. Per condition number 1 of the special exception permit, the Natural Bridge Drag Strip is required to present an annual report to the Board of Supervisors. The report is supposed to be presented to the Board of Supervisors before the second meeting in January. Historically, as y'all know, the board has allowed this report to be presented at the second meeting in January. Mr. G.W. Fitzgerald, manager promoter of the 2025 season, is in attendance this evening to review the report. The Office of Community Development did issue two violations pertaining to the drag strip. One was for a curfew violation at its July 29th, 2025 event that resulted in a zoning violation. The second one was associated with not having a basic life support ambulance, a BLS ambulance, at the September 22nd, 2025 event. That violation resulted in a civil penalty of $200 per section 1100-03 of the County of Rockbridge Land Development Regulations. With that, I'd like to turn the floor over to Mr. Fitzgerald to review any additional details on the report and to go highlight the report and answer any questions the board may have.
All righty. Good evening. All right. Natural Bridge Drag Strip had a successful 2025 season. We held 20 events. Major events included the 22nd anniversary Millennium Sports Riders event, which is it's a motorcycle event. It's been going on for years. It's been going on before I have it. But anyway, it was a big turnout. And and we had a JJ's arm drop, was extremely satisfied with, hosting over 5,000 guests and participants this year. The drag strip was fortunate to be able to host a JJ's arm drop on July 26th. Jonathan Gray, which is JJ DeBalls, he's a famous racer from Street Outlaws in Memphis. And you can see this on TV a lot, on the Discovery Channel and stuff like that. They have it's a big deal with those. And we had to rent the dirt track that day to put all the people in because we didn't have nowhere to park them all. And that's one reason we got over on the curfew that night. We had some rain that day also, and then plus we just had so many people that we just couldn't get it all done. So we ran over. Let's see. The drag strip also shared gratitude for the major sponsors. We had Hey Joka and Nolan and VP Racing Fuels and Royal Flush Plumbing and Gucci Glue. They helped us out. I lost some events during the year because my son was in the hospital for 3 months and he run the timing system for me and I couldn't find no one to train. So we finally got somebody to do it, but that was a problem because I can't do it and it was computer issues. But other than that, we did everything we're supposed to do except for those 2 violations we had. And they was really beyond my control because like I said, we had the rain delay, then we had just so many people we couldn't get it done. And then people all come from New York and everywhere. And then on the other deal, the ambulance was coming that day. I got text messages all day. They were on their way. They're on their way. And I think they had a breakdown on the ambulance or something, then they had a call and of course I didn't, like I said, that's what happened on that. But other than that, we got scheduled this year, we start in March 14th and we'll run to October 3rd as of now. I don't know how many events that is. It's March to, it's about every weekend except for the fair weekend. And that's about it. I know Motor Miles opening up down in Radford this year. And that might hurt us some. It's been down for 2 or 3 years and somebody opened it back up. So we might lose some people this year. I don't know how it's gonna go.
I'll open up for questions from any board members.
Not to belabor the couple of issues you had, but do you have any grace period for weather? I know the round track does, don't it?
I think it's the same. It's the
Okay.
same.
I can pull it up in the computer. I don't have that in front of me, unfortunately, but I believe it is similar.
Okay.
Similar language. Most of the conditions are similar.
So unfortunately, even with that, they went past.
Yeah, I did.
What is the I mean, is there a limit to the grace period?
It's two 15-minute grace periods per season.
And it's not necessarily something that we're going to change, but I just wanted to make everybody aware that there is a grace period. And they try their best. Weather can happen, right? You get everybody there.
Yeah, it was this guy, this JJ guy, he had sold a bunch of rides and he had so many of them to do, they didn't get them all done. That's why I was run over. But that was something, his deal. It wasn't mine. I mean, they did all that.
So
Just be aware. Yeah.
Yeah.
so in your contract, there's no contract that there is a time when you're gonna cut off,
Yeah, it's 12 o'clock, I think.
but it went to
11.
2:30 AM.
Yeah, it did.
So I mean, I'm just asking for the neighbors who.
Well,
It's
11
o'clock.
yeah, I know that. I know that their track went over 1 year or two, about 2 o'clock when they had the big memorial race too. So I mean, this happens. I mean, they had some rain delay too, but it was like 2 when they finished.
So I'm not understanding, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding the grace period. It sounds like there really isn't.
No, I don't know about the grace period myself. I don't know.
So it's condition number 3, racing shall not begin between 12:01, before 12:01 PM on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and special events, and end no later than 11 PM on Fridays and Saturdays, and 10 PM on Sundays, and special event days, with 2 15-minute grace periods during each racing season.
So even if you use both grace periods on the one race, it would, that's not me, is it? I hope not. That would leave till 11:30, correct?
I think it would be interpreted that you only have one per race, I should say. You know, you couldn't combine those two. 2 15-minute grace periods during each racing season. So at most it would be 11:30. That's correct.
Okay.
But the way I'm off the cuff interpreting, it would be 11:15. 2 events could go to 11:15.
Yeah, I guess, sir, I understand that things happen, but I don't understand how it went to 2:30 AM.
And over 3,000 people, that's fine. We just not used to that. We used to have like 200 people, 300 people. We had 3,000. We had to rent the dirt track and split everybody, park them. Never seen them that big. That's the first time I've ever had it. And it just, see it happening like that, but it would happen.
Is one of that magnitude scheduled for this year?
No, I don't. I've got the motorcycle race again, but that didn't do that. That had like 1,000. No, I don't have one of that.
Only reason I ask is Mr. Sladen and I, typically Chris, but in chances when Chris aren't available, I live closer, so get kind of called in on those things. And one of my biggest concerns on that particular one, I know you know, great, you brought business to the county, appreciate that and everything. But at the gate, I mean, we had vehicles backed up out on Route 11 and all the way down driveway.
8:30 that morning, they stopped coming at 8 o'clock at night,
Right.
and they were still backed up. We didn't get them all the way on the property until 8 o'clock at night. I mean, we can sign all the waivers and getting all the, I mean, it just got long. We just got overwhelmed. I mean, we would expect that.
Right, that's why I asked about this one, because there's nothing really in here that addresses that. But certainly I would go to learn from experience on that, need 3 or 4 lanes going in
We
there.
even come in down the lower gate so that we could get them more running. We used the dirt track, like I said, we rented that. So we come in the lower dirt track gate and come all the hill and around, so we just get them as far as we could off road, but that was the way it was. I mean, it was crazy.
And you all are picking up trash?
Yeah. Trash up myself. I picked it up. It took me about Monday to get it done.
I know it's a condition of your permit that you not race on fair weekend, but the current fair board, if you ever reapplied for your special exception permit, would not object.
Yeah, I would have to get my. I guess, to do that.
It would be an owner initiated, yes. But appreciate that comment.
Cause I didn't know, I looked up a date and I put it on my schedule. I was gonna run. I probably won't, but that's probably not going on vacation too. I need a week too.
Yeah, just, we don't want you to be constrained on our account.
Well, it sounds like maybe there's an occupancy. So, and you don't know when you might have 1,000 people try to come, or?
No, I mean, not saying the motorcycle won't be that big, but the rest of them. Okay. Not that much. 200 people, maybe. 100, 200, it's just not big. Like I said, this thing's been down for years and it's just coming back. And then, like I said, I'm scared motor miles will hurt us this year because they're only up, and it's down in Radford, but it's still people will go there too. And they run on Saturdays too.
Well, I certainly appreciate the drag, what you've done, you know, opening up the drag strip, what it means to the county as far as additional revenue and all. I think what Ms. Ayers is alluding to is, and what Mr. Suter is, obviously that was a huge event.
Yeah.
And it overwhelmed you, and
Yeah.
and I understand that, but the neighbors may not be so understanding.
Right.
And you know, in future, if you plan an event like that, we need to plan accordingly so that we're ending it at an appropriate time, not
Well, it probably
2:30.
would have to be probably a 2-day deal or something, because
Yeah.
you can't open before 12 and you get it. So you just probably no way you'd ever get it all done in a day. So, I mean, that would be the deal if I did it again.
Yeah, you know,
Friday night and Saturday.
you lived it and you learn, and we do better next time. Picking up the trash is always, you know, a concern for the neighbors. I appreciate you doing your part on that. And certainly, and I understand that if the ambulance promised you that it's going to be there and they didn't show up, but I think it's very important that for safety and security, not only the drivers, but the spectators there as well, just make sure that we have appropriate crews there to handle any type of incident. So, but overall, you know, your first year back doing it, and you had two issues that, again, we live and we learn. We'll get better at this year, but thank you for what you're doing there as well. All right. Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Appreciate you being here. Let's see here. Next up, we have consideration of the preschool program agreement with the Y. Mr. Suter.
Yes. As you may recall from last year's budget discussions, the board initially removed the county preschool program from the budget. And after hearing a lot of public comment, after discussion, the board reinstated the program for FY26 this year, with the condition that staff work to develop a proposal to shift the program to another entity. Since then, we've held multiple meetings with the Y of Rockbridge, and Mercy Smith is with us today. She's been involved with those discussions. She's the director of the preschool program. And we developed a basic agreement with the Y of Rockbridge, which would transfer operations to the Y, effective July 1 of this year. And at that time, the board, as I ascertained, had 3 general goals: transfer the program to an entity which, as part of its core services, has closer alignment than the county itself, i.e. me and our staff and the board, closer alignment with education and childcare. To maintain that service in a manner as close as possible to the existing program, in the locations where they are currently operated. And that's Fairfield, Goshen, Glasgow, and Effinger. And then an eventual reduction or elimination in budgeted funds. And the agreement that is in your package satisfies all those objectives, providing for 2 years of level funding paid to the Y on a quarterly basis. The timing of the agreement would allow YMCA staff and Mercy and her staff to communicate the plan with parents and guardians with the children currently enrolled, and provides for a summer transition, which has collectively been agreed upon as optimum. And Mercy suggested this, and I think it was a great idea. Y management is prepared to execute the agreement should the board accept, and the agreement has been reviewed and approved to form by Mr. Dryden, our county attorney, right here.
Open it up to the board for any questions or discussion.
So if I understand this correctly, we transfer operation this summer. We continue to fund it for 2 years, which gives the Y a chance to build up their funding base for it. And then at the end of 2 years, it's all theirs.
Yes, sir. Yeah. You know, for the county staff, for the preschool staff, I really appreciate your involvement and making this a possibility. Our preschool program in the county has been a wonderful program. Unfortunately, well, fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, you know, I think we all came to the conclusion a government entity shouldn't be doing preschool. We don't have the capability, the personnel, the accreditations that you know, from a board of supervisors standpoint, that's not our purview. You know, and for the Y to step up and take this on, I appreciate their efforts. The fact that it will remain in the places in the county that it currently is a very positive. The fact that we can transition during the summer for families, we can make them aware, you know, now, I think it's a very positive thing. That was the thing last year. I think a lot of families that were in the program, you know, it was a difficult time. You know, it was a quick turnaround trying to make the change last year. So, and being able to ensure that it's handled in a professional way throughout our community. I think it's an all around good summary, and I think it's something that we should act on. Unless you have any.
No, having worked with Mercy the past very directly as director since June, July of last year, the word professional rings loudly. She's done a wonderful job, and expanded to some summer programming. And you'll note in the agreement, it leaves some room for both summer and after school programming. And one thing I did forget to mention, you know, the idea is in the verbal commitment I've gotten from the Y is keeping the staff, not just the programs where they are in those 4 locations, but keeping the staff there as well, because the continuity of that from sibling to, you know, there's a lot to be gained from the continuity, and we don't want them moving somebody, say, from Goshen to Glasgow. You know, it's part of their community.
Good. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, I think this is wonderful, and I thank everybody for working this through. I do wonder what happens in year 3. Did the Y specify that they would be able to transition fully to their programs? Because we have an eventual reduction, not necessarily an elimination at this point. Did I misunderstand?
That the agreement calls for 2 years. You know, that's not to say that wouldn't come back maybe in the future. There's been no discussion of coming back in the future for any requests on that. I can tell you that the YMCA has access to some other funding that we don't have access to. That's about all I can tell you on that. But that's what we came to. There were kind of a couple different options there that had been considered, like a eventual ramp down over a number of years, but the 2 years seemed to make the most sense at level funding. It gives a springboard to grow the program. And yeah, I'm confident in the YMCA
Yes.
and Mercy.
Good deal.
As a my Mr. Chairman, the only minor concern that I have or thought would be, as we are still continuing to fund it, that the participants or the children are Rockbridge County citizens. I don't know if that was any part of your conversation, Spencer, with anybody.
It's been
or-
part of the conversation.
With the I mean, once it's the YMCA's, they do what they want, right? Because they're running the program. But
Are you afraid of Augusta County?
I wouldn't. I don't know. Well, I don't want to say afraid if that's the right word. But I just think, I mean, we're funding it. It's for our citizens, right? I mean, for Rockbridge folks. So I guess
For our school, specifically our school children. Is that what you mean?
Well, our preschool age children. We had an issue in the past when we had some preschool children from other localities that were coming in, participating in the program free of charge. And currently we don't have that.
Okay.
Was that because their parents were working in Rockbridge County but having to live in Augusta County?
No, I think it was proximity coming out of Bath, and I don't know of any.
That's a difficult situation as communities, identify together.
Yeah.
But I still just wanted to make that aware that as much as we can, I think if we're paying for it, it needs to be our kids.
I agree.
In that situation there, I think of our library system. We share
Yeah.
the library system, so maybe parents in that area not assembled.
That's true. Anyway, I won't beat that up, but I approve of the agreement and would make a motion to move forward.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All right, Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Day.
Yes.
Ms. Ayers.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes, sir.
And Chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for working on that. Thank you so much for your help. Next up, we have consideration of approval for construction agreement with Rockbridge County Administration Building Elevator Modernization and Project and Preventive Maintenance Services. Mr. Harrison? I think that's you.
Yes, so just a little bit of background. The elevator in this building, I believe, was 1965. So it's been very loyal for equipment, but it has reached its the age, and we've been spending quite a bit of money over the years on maintenance, where we felt that and we had recommended to the board that we do an overhaul of the elevator. So we did bid that out. Southern Elevator was the lowest responsible bidder. The contract has been approved by the county attorney, and the amount, it is expensive. It's $444,098. And that includes the alternate to upgrade the cab. There's also a maintenance agreement in there for 3 years at $900 a quarter. It's It's actually good timing and I need to remember, both Mr. Suter and I need to remember. We're also going through we did a CIP for the courthouse building. We're also underway to do a CIP for this building. So, Supervisor Hart, that was a good point. We'll need to remember to put that in our CIP on the scheduled replacement.
Are we
I
gonna,
don't know if
will
the
it
new-
be 60 years?
Oh, hopefully the new one will last as long as, but the heart will be, the heart is still there. So, but that money has already, as you know, from previous meetings, it's been appropriated. And once finished, I know there's gonna be a lot of people happy. Anyone who's been banged by that door or been stuck on it, even though it's only one level, I think we'll appreciate the change if approved.
I just want you to say the name of the title 4 times real fast or 3 times real fast. Then I'll vote yes.
Consideration of approval for construction.
Modernization. Go, come on.
Is there any other questions, comments, concerns about this?
I will make a motion to approve.
All right, so second.
Fix the elevator, second.
All right, let's see, Ms. Ayers,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Day,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
and Chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have consideration of adoption of strategic economic development plan. Ms. Flint, this is you.
Chair, members of the board, included in your package was the final draft of the Strategic Economic Development Plan. You reviewed it at your work session with the EDA a couple months ago. The EDA did adopt the plan as it is drafted and in your package on the 20th of this month. And so now it's just before you for consideration.
Any questions, comments, discussion?
Mr. Chair, I got one comment. There's I understand how SWOT analysis is done, but there's 2 things that are listed in there under threats that I don't think belong there. One of those is community resistance to development, and the other one is conservation easements limiting buildable land. I mean, we've talked to the second one, we've talked about landowners get to do what they want to do with their land. And I don't see either of those as a problem. I see those as our guidance. That's what the citizens that elected us told us they wanted. And I kind of understand why they go in there in a SWOT analysis, but how that gets perceived, I think, is negatively. And I don't think those 2 things belong there. And the second one is a good plan needs measures of effectiveness. The measures of performance in here are very good. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have these meetings. We're going to work on these projects. We're going to do these things. Those things are good. But we need to know if it works. And we have to have measures of effectiveness that really look outward at, are we achieving these goals? And some examples of those be, we have a line of effort that deals with community workforce development. Part of that was our CTE that we put a lot of money into, and we have a really nice facility. We educate people. How many graduates do we have? How many of those achieve certificates? How many of those are employed in those fields that they got certificates in? And how many of those are employed in the county? And I actually think that's a success story because I've talked to people that have employed our graduates. And if we don't look for those things, if we don't measure those things, we don't actually know how will we succeed. You know, we've got a line of effort for business workforce or business retention. We need to figure out a way to measure that. Are we in fact retaining businesses? And I think we've got like 1,900 or so registered businesses in the county. How many do we have in 5 years? And if we don't measure it, then we don't know. And so
I think the plan, any good plan needs measures of effectiveness for us to be able to evaluate what we're doing.
Mr. Hart, we actually have drafted some MOEs that will be implemented behind the scenes. They're not included in the plan, but we do have some that are drafted that are being reviewed by our members of our EDA,
Okay.
specifically chair. And then as far as the SWOT analysis, we will revisit this plan every year and we'll revisit that SWOT analysis at that time.
It might be just I mean, I understand what Mr. Hart is saying there. It might just be a change in term
Correct.
or a bullet point that, not necessarily a threat, but it limits our capabilities of certain things or whatnot. So
It's a condition of our environment.
And
And
I
I think that's the
also-
correct way to understand it.
Yep. And I'll add the CTE reporting, just for your information. I am on the CTE advisory committee, and part of the CTE advisory committee is we have to have that information reported to us. And then in addition to the Go Virginia grant that we have this year, we will have to report those items in reference to the advanced manufacturing and the cybersecurity program. So we will have those measurable numbers.
okay. Good deal. Good discussion. Any other discussion, comments?
I just add one thing or ask, make sure I understand, Brady. It is a rolling plan. Did you say
Yes,
that?
yes. It is a rolling plan. We originally set it for 5 years, which is not realistic in today's environment. And so we are reevaluating it. This just happened to be 2 years, but we'll work on it every year.
And I think Mr. Hawkins spoke earlier, but to Ms. Flint and Mr. Mitz and the EDA, I just really want to say thank you. I mean, we started this 5 years ago. It's been a work in progress. It will continue to be a work in progress. We'll refine, we'll define certain things, we'll change certain things around. But we have a plan, Several years ago, we did, so we're on the right track. I couldn't tell you how many hours, how many meetings, how many, it's been a process. But thank you to the members who have put their time and effort, sweat, blood, tears into it. I really appreciate it. Having said all that, is there a motion to approve the plan as it's presented, knowing that there are some coming changes to it?
There is. So
And is there a second? All right, Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Day.
Yes.
Ms. Ayers.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes, sir.
And I will vote yes as well. Let's see, the public hearing's been rescheduled to February 9th. Couple of comments. We have next Monday, February 2nd, we have a budget meeting for outside agencies. Just to make everyone aware, I have a conflict at my employer. I won't be able to attend. Mr. Lewis is going to be in charge of that. And I think it's, I know I've asked about this before, and, I think we all represent communities, certain aspects of our overall community. And to me, there are people who are influential in our communities that from time to time we should recognize. We should do a better job of recognizing people. We recognized at the beginning of this meeting, Mr. Ingram and his passing. In my community, over the last week, we had a passing of an individual who was very influential. And I just want to say, Mr. William Thomas, and to him and his family, I just want to say we're thinking about you as well. It was in that Natural Bridge, Glasgow community, he had a major impact, and I think it's important for us to recognize people like that when we have time.
he was at Faith Mountain as well. So he was countywide.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. Lewis, you got anything?
No, sir.
Mr. Day, Ms. Ayers, Mr. Hart?
We did have 2 house fires that resulted in 2 families being displaced, which is sad. But to see the community response to come around that, there were a lot of donations that were collected really fast to be able to support these 2 families. And
that's the kind of place that's nice to live in.
It is. Thank you for mentioning that. Is there anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Suter, you have anything?
I do not.
All right. There's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second,
All right. Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Ms. Ayers,
yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Day.
Yes.
And Chair votes yes as well. Please be careful in the ice and snow, and hopefully there's not much of an impact this coming weekend. Please drive safe.
They said we need one.